Why did I know we had a countdown?
It's like our 5th episode, and you haven't noticed the countdown
I've never
yet?
noticed that there was a countdown on the screen.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. Well, welcome back to another episode of
Serving you.
More secrets of production. Now we know that it has a countdown.
I know.
Secret-
Learn
you can
something
see the
every
screen.
day.
I'm not paying attention to your screen.
All right. Well, today we have a very special guest.
Yay!
Old friend of mine. We have a chef on the show, Chef Patrick.
Yes, chef.
Yay!
Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So this has been a perspective of kind of customer, bartender, server manager, and we've always talked about when we get somebody from the back of the house on, what perspective will that be? Because I think, in the service industry in general, sometimes back of house and front of house can butt heads.
For sure.
It's happened.
Yeah.
I know over the years working with you, the fact that we were friends saved our professional relationship
Oh, 100%.
a lot of times where it was like you wanted to kill me and I'm like,
But you love me.
you gotta love
right.
me.
That's right.
Exactly. 100%.
So, hey, would you push the button and then push the button again?
Just
Nope.
double
Nope,
click
not that
it.
one. Other side.
Right here or right there?
The right here one.
This one?
Sure. Maybe. Yep. Push it. Perfect. And then,
I can't get to it. There's
All right,
the
never mind.
frames on it.
don't worry about it.
Wait a minute. Which button? There's like 40 buttons on this thing.
Sure, you can yell at me or you can listen. Either one, whatever works for you. Yep, that one. And then do it one more time. There we go. We're probably recording. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, you can stop staring at it. We're back at the episode. It's good.
Well, I'm trying to figure out if it's recording or not.
Both of us are staring at it though, like,
It's
oh,
not-
look at it go.
It's not
Okay,
going to
sorry.
dance or do anything for you. It's probably
right.
recording.
Oh, we don't have the dancing version?
No, we don't.
Damn it.
So I will say, so my topic, since this is going to be my episode and I brought a guest on, my topic will be, so background for you, Matt was a bartender in a Mexican restaurant. I worked in a Mexican restaurant for
13 years.
13 years. Melissa is a server at a local, very popular, very busy diner. How much in food sales did you do on Thursday?
Almost $1,600
$1,600 at a diner
in
on a
pancakes
Thursday.
and bacon.
Yeah, they're only open breakfast and lunch, so
Yeah.
pretty busy.
Yeah.
And then you know my history. So topic today is food running.
Oh,
Okay.
food running.
Something I know you're passionate about.
Yeah.
Well, can we preface this though for the viewer who
Yes.
might not know what a food runner is?
Oh, first of all, let's preface with the fact that sometimes there's a job called food runner.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Some
God bless that
restaurants.
job when that exists.
When it exists.
But a lot of times restaurants, so if you've ever wondered how does your food get to you, sometimes it's the server bringing it out.
Right?
So food gets made in the kitchen, food gets put on the line, and then that food is run out to you. There is a job position called food runner at a lot of restaurants, and that food runner's job is literally to just get that food out to you.
Yep.
Now, in a lot of restaurants, the servers have to do that. In a lot of restaurants, they have things called like server assistants.
Yep.
So they help with refilling plus food running and just kind of assisting all around. Sometimes, if the chef gets fed up enough and is just real pissy mood that day, he'll just walk food out to a restaurant that he doesn't know any of the table numbers on and just yell at people to come fucking take this food from him.
Are you speaking from experience with
I'm
that
just
example,
saying, I've
Jeff?
seen.
It happens.
That was very
It happens.
detailed.
That does happen.
Okay.
So our topic today is going to be food runners. We'll talk about how important they are
Okay.
and food running in general. And I want to hear from the back of house perspective on the breakdown when food's not being run.
Yeah.
Because as we recently talked about, and people sending food back, that, sometimes people send food back because the food's not hot. And sometimes the food's not hot, not because they didn't use fire to cook it.
Because it sat in the window too
It
long
sat in the
and
window.
nobody ran it.
And anybody in the industry knows, like, when you get food and that plate is piping hot, but the food's not, and it's like, oh, you've just been seated under a heat lamp. You've just, like, this has clearly been sitting for a while.
Or you don't even have heat lamps.
Yeah, or that.
Don't even have them in my restaurant.
So I've noticed, so we'll talk about the diner. We'll go to you first, because I've noticed when we go out to eat there, kind of we get food as we get food type thing. And I'm not
Yes.
saying that in any type of a negative way.
No, that's real. You get food when
but,
you
like,
get food.
We get
because
food when we get food.
I don't have heat lamps. And in my kitchen, there's 2 cooks that cook together on the line. So one will make like the eggs and the meat, and the other makes like all the bread items, the pancakes and the waffles and that kind of stuff.
Our hero.
Yes. Yes, he is the favorite. So if the one guy is putting his part of the ticket up sooner than the other one, and I don't have heat lamps, I run the food out as soon as it comes up. Sometimes I forget some of the food, and you have to gently remind me later that, Melissa, I didn't get my fucking eggs. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. My bad. Okay? So that happened yesterday. But anyway, yes, they do come out in pieces, and we don't have food runners. We just do it all ourselves.
Yeah.
So we take the order, we expedite, but it's a diner. It's not a big deal. But food running is very important.
Now, what happens, I'm curious, because I can only talk from my perspective, and I know
Mm-hmm.
part of his perspective, is what happens when the food's not being run? How does that get rectified?
You either have a cook yell at you to please come get their food, because obviously a cook doesn't want to remake a plate
Yeah.
because you as a server didn't run it out
Yeah.
in time. Or, I don't want to give secrets away, but there might be a microwave in our kitchen, and some of the girls might hypothetically use it to reheat food before they bring it out to you.
Sure.
Not throwing anyone under a bus.
No. But
I
secrets
would-
of the industry.
Yeah, I don't. As a server, though, I don't like when we do that. As a server, I try to be in my window and time my tickets and run my food when it's hot. As the burns on my arm suggest, I don't like reheating food, because you came there. I want you to get what you paid
Yeah.
for, and I don't eat out of a microwave in my home. I'm not gonna fucking feed you food out of a microwave.
You're going to make those eggs rubbery. It's going to change everything real quickly.
Exactly, exactly. So it's not. Yeah, that's one of the secrets, but not a secret I like.
Matt, let's hear your story with food running, Mexican restaurant.
So we had a food runner, but only at certain times of the day. The busiest parts of the day we had a food runner, but
sense.
everyone was expected to be a food runner.
Okay.
Now, sometimes the food runner was someone that was hired specifically to run food. At other times, it was that in any other time of the day, it would be a server. But because we needed someone to run food, they get taken off the floor. You're running food. There were times where cooks would take food out. Sometimes, and this always made me laugh, sometimes the food runner happened to be the person that was walking by the window when the cook said, hey, we need someone to take this to table 35.
Yeah.
So, and I was always very much a fan of someone, because for me, that's why you're there. I'm that restaurant to eat food, and I don't want to eat cold food unless it's vichyssoise. So I always thought, why wouldn't you have either someone who was hired specifically for that, or someone who was doing that specifically? So yeah, for me, the food runner was almost like
Paramount.
one of the most important people in the restaurant, because if that person's not doing their job, or no one is in that position, then everything else that everyone else is doing, they're just doing it. They're just going through the motions.
Right, for nothing.
Yeah.
But I'll talk about one of the problems with having a food runner dedicated position is that sometimes servers get into the mindset of, I have a food runner for that, I don't need to run the food.
Ooh, that's
Oh,
a good
yeah.
point.
And here's the thing, if you have one food runner working, and they're running food, food's still coming up.
Exactly. There's 5 servers with
So-
5 tables each. One person can't handle all of that.
I will speak highly about, and I think it was a corporate practice, but I'll ask you, because we both worked Applebee's. Applebee's had, if you full hands into the kitchen, full hands out.
I've worked in a lot of restaurants like that.
And that's a
Yep.
good practice.
It's great.
Because listen, just because you're a server and okay, so you bust some of your table, why wouldn't you just take some stuff out? And I will be honest with you, in all of the places, especially at the hotel, all of the different venues I worked there, I got away with a lot of shit. And and I know for a fact it's because I also ran more food than any other server would run.
Yeah.
And I've had chefs kick me out of kitchens before, because of my mouth and my attitude and my
That
hilarity.
is shocking.
Wait a minute. A chef kicked you out of a kitchen because of your mouth? That must have been pretty fucking bad, dude. Cause
Well, to be fair, he was a pretty bad chef,
Okay.
and I called him out on it.
oh, that's
He's
why.
literally sitting at the table. Oh my God. Let me move this out of the way. There's no knives in there.
No, but yeah, it was. But it was one of those things. I was like, sure, you can kick me out, but then who's? And I remember saying to this one, God, multiple chefs kicked me out of the Maritana restaurant. That's weird.
Again,
friend.
not a shock.
But I remember specifically Chef Gavin told me I'm not allowed in the kitchen anymore, and I said, "Who's going to run the food?" And this was at a.
This was in St. Pete?
This was at Fine Dining in St. Pete.
That
and
sounds familiar. Because
and
I worked at Bella for a little bit.
it was one of those that the servers ran the food. And I knew I ran way more food than everybody else to all the tables. This was the team service type thing. And I was just like, okay, kick me out. Watch all that food get cold. Because I know these servers are lazy as shit. So
You
like,
beat me.
yeah, I'm on my phone more than I should be. I talk more than I should be. But I know what I also do.
Yeah, what I bring
So
to the table.
when you, I took a little bit of advantage
He's
of
so
it.
humble.
Oh, you should live with him.
Modest. I can only imagine. Jesus.
You should live with him. Can he come live with you for a while?
Me?
Yes.
No, honey. I have 2 big dogs. They don't like me.
This is
He
their,
loves dogs.
They don't like him.
this is their side podcast. What should we do with Jeff? So Patrick, let's hear. So you've been a chef de cuisine, you've been an exec chef, you've been a food and beverage director.
Yep.
You,
How many years in the industry, Patrick?
20 plus.
Holy shit. Okay.
Yeah. So let's hear your side of running food, getting food out, frustrations from the back of house.
Hold on, though. Where did you start? Did you start front and move to back, or you always started
I
in
started
back?
in back and only more recently moved to front and
Okay.
then managerial roles. Never really was a server, bartender, anything along those lines. Really worked my way up in the kitchen for the most part. But the big thing with food running, like we've talked about, is cold food's the biggest concern. I think every chef has been like, cold food's just an element of the quality. You know, if something's garnished with a fresh green of some sort, that's dying too on top of that hot food. The longer it takes, and as everybody knows and is ingrained in everybody, especially that comes up, and you eat with your eyes first. So if
Thank you.
so if that
I say
food's
that all the time.
dying in the back, like we're also just watching, you know, like almost like a painting melt in the sun. Like we just put our heart and soul into that plate,
Right?
and now I can't get a food runner. And sure, the frustrations sometimes boil over and things happen. And I mean, I think the reality that maybe in the back of the house has to take is it's not a matter of they can't hear us, they're ignoring us, because I think our automatic go-tos, we got to get louder. Obviously, they can't hear us in the dining room, so I'm just going to start yelling runner louder.
Hey.
Because
You don't know the amount of dining rooms I've worked in where I'm just hearing Patrick in the kitchen just being, runner,
That
runner.
explains a lot, though. Okay. All right.
But at the same time, I'm like, you talk about full hands in, full hands out,
Yeah.
and I think about Sea Porch.
Okay,
And like I look back at that and I'm like,
Sea porch? What
It
is
was
that?
3 meal a day at the hotel.
I think it's
that we
something.
were
I
at.
think
Yeah,
it's something else
yeah, it's
now.
named something
but,
else now. Yeah.
but yeah, back in the day, and like you had the soda fountains in the kitchen.
Yeah.
So it's like the servers are coming back to get their beverages. So like even when you instill that mindset as like the expo, you're like, I don't care about your drinks. I have hot food dying.
Yeah.
But they're still in their head. They're like, oh, I have full hands in, full hands out because I have my tray of drinks going back out with me. And you're just like, yeah, but this is still dying, and now I'm dying
Way
a little
more
bit,
important, right?
and yeah, and I mean it gets aggressive at times, and I mean now that I've kind of been able to take the bigger picture in the food and beverage director role, you see it both, and I kind of can look back on moments, and you're like, oh, that's why the server wasn't coming back. I see it now, but the other thing I'll say is not having that designated SA from front and back of the house standpoint, or a food runner or whatever. When you get busy, it pulls a manager off the floor a lot of times.
That
So
happens
now
a
that
lot,
manager's not doing table touches, that manager's like things that could then start to hurt repeat business.
Yeah.
Like that manager's losing because their staff or they're being put into a different role. And I think especially larger companies, you're seeing these skeleton crews and running less and less and trying to penny pinch everywhere. And some of that takes away from the experience, and I think not having that designated food runner can be a big damper on an experience. And I mean, it could slow the whole. You work in a busy diner. If that kitchen's jamming, you don't want to do anything to break their flow. But a window backing up can be the quickest thing to break that flow, because where am I putting these next plates that are coming?
Oh,
up?
they're just putting them on top of
Yeah,
other plates.
you're
pushing stuff
stacked,
out the
you're
window,
stacked.
and they're
But
like,
now,
dude.
and then because I've seen that too, where it's like you set that plate that was just stacked down, and sure, the guest is eating, doesn't see anything, you pick it up, and there's like an egg ring
Isn't
that just
that
got left
horrible?
on the,
It's so
the table,
embarrassing.
but it's that the kitchen doesn't want to lose their flow, because
Yeah.
they're like, if I even just like take this breather for a second, it could be the difference
Yeah.
between a 10-minute ticket time and a 20-minute ticket time.
Yeah, the
so it's a lot to do with the rhythm too, not just the quality of food. So again, I think that food runner is a cog that really can make or break a restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Good perspective.
I've literally seen a chef shut down food production because food was not being run out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And
I don't
they've
blame
literally
them.
said, stop cooking. We're not putting out. We're not
Yep.
cooking any more food until this food gets run out.
Absolutely.
And and on a front of house side, it is like when you're busy and you're slammed, sometimes it is hard to get back and be able to grab and do more because you're being pulled so many different places outside, as in the dining room. And that's one of the things that that's the tough thing between back of house and front of house, I've always found, is because back of house doesn't have a window into the front of house, right? So front of house, in a perfect world, front of house is making informed decisions because they can see back of house, they can see front of house, and they're doing what should be best in general.
In a
perfect world. Yeah. That's not what's happening.
Key caveat.
We're blaming the kitchen for every No.
No, which I hate when servers do.
You know servers do that,
They
though.
do.
Oh, there's plenty of them. I have a list at home. I cross it out with lipstick when they make up. He was on it for a while, but we're in the clear now. So
Oh, hell no.
He's not here to kill me. But yeah, I mean, that is one of those things that it gets tough. But yeah, it's, we've talked about, we've mentioned on the podcast about it's a dance in the kitchen. And when it works great, it's so great how it's working. The symbiotic of just the front of house and how everybody works together and so on. But it's so funny because I think in kind of in a restaurant in service, right? Mm-hmm. In that moment of service, in that mealtime service, running food is just, I don't know what you want to call it, like the blood flow, the veins, it is what is keeping everything circulating.
No, for sure.
And if that stops, it's essentially a heart attack.
It is.
What you almost had multiple times. It's essentially
for sure.
I should not have given you Red Bulls while you were upset. Ooh. I was like, "Ooh, he's yelling! Have another."
Yeah.
So an aneurysm around.
But were the ticket times good?
But yeah, so I think, and that's what I think a lot of people in general don't even know about that in restaurants. And so I think that's kind of, we'll call that a restaurant maybe secret, right? I don't know how big of a secret
it's like
it is.
the backside of it, the part you don't see behind the curtain.
Yeah.
How all of that is moving efficiently. I think food running too, from a server standpoint, because I know it's my responsibility, I try to time my tables. So even if everybody sits down and I take all your orders, I don't put them all in at once to the kitchen. I hold off and I wait and just kind of time it, so then I know my food's gonna come out, then this will come out, and I can try to make it back and forth.
Nicest thing I've ever heard anybody say. No,
She's like, I'm sorry, you work with our
because there's other people that might just take all 10 of those tickets and.
Oh, dude, but then you're backed up.
Yeah,
And that comes
I'm
from
not backed up.
someone. I think that's a very important perspective, because that comes from someone who, one, has experience, and two, knows what they're doing, and three, this is something that I want to touch on, knows that this is very much a team effort.
It's such a team effort.
Because I know when I was bartending, even if I was slammed, I'm like, for me the bar was always secondary. It's a restaurant first and foremost.
Yeah.
So when I saw that something was going around the floor, I would always go to the kitchen and say, "Hey, what can I do? Is there anything I can do?" And yes, I used to cook. I did everything at the restaurant level. I washed dishes. I cooked. I did a little bit of everything, because I saw that I'm a part of that team. I'm not just the bartender. I'm not just the server. I'm a part of a team. And if any one part of that machine goes down, then the rest of the system is screwed.
Well, you don't make any money as a server without food.
Exactly.
Like, those men make me a shit ton of fucking money, dude.
Exactly.
Like, I kiss the ground they walk on sometimes, not always.
So it always fascinates me when I'm talking to people who work in the industry that they don't quite get that it's very much a team effort. And I have never, whether we're talking about the restaurant industry or whether we're talking about public health, I've never quite understood people who say that's not my job. Like, if you're working at an organization,
They're just assholes.
then you have to wear multiple hats.
Yeah.
I think servers should be made to cook.
Especially in a restaurant.
Yeah.
Especially in a restaurant.
Because you have that kitchen's perspective, though, I think it gives you a different motivation.
Oh, yeah.
I started restaurants cooking for Applebee's. I started in Outback, then went to Applebee's. And because I've cooked, I do have a different appreciation. And I say to the girls, like, maybe you should go back there and cook one shift. Then you see what those men go through. And I'm not being sexist. There are a few females in the kitchen, but it's predominantly a male world. So those men, they work their asses off, dude. And you think it's so easy and whatever, just make it again. No, they don't want to make a whole nother ticket again. Like, get your shit together.
Like you said, they're in a rhythm on these next 2 to 3 tickets. And when you throw in... Yeah.
Then you're like, oh, I forgot. I mean, I didn't put this in. Oh, I need this on the fly. Oh, I really wanted mushrooms, not spinach. Oh my God. I'm like, please, come on, ladies.
And there are specific servers that do that more than
All
others.
the time.
And then I've come from a management perspective a lot in this podcast, and the amount of times he would pull me aside as a chef de cuisine and kind of be like, hey, this server?
Yes.
And sometimes it'll be just like, he'll have a stack of tickets like, these are the amount of mistakes made.
Good for you.
Do something about it. But that is, and that's when, like you talk about the teamwork, that's kind of two coaches on, it's your offensive and defensive coach getting together and being like, we need to, like, I'm looking at mistakes your side's making. Let's make sure it all works together. And I just wanted to fire that person anyway.
Yeah, right? Just give me a reason. Because not only does it hurt the dynamic of the team, it affects your bottom line. So, we're in the service industry, but we're all here to make money.
Yeah.
We're not running a charity.
By the way, I want to compliment your diner because I noticed yesterday when we were there that speaking of like the team mentality, and a lot of people put like front house as a team, and again, there seems to be a separation between front
That's
and back
fair, yeah.
as opposed to just the house as a
No,
team.
that's real. There is.
But you guys actually have a tip bucket out by the register
For the boys.
for cooks.
Yep.
Tips for cooks right there.
Yeah, it's so cool. And then we split it between the 4 line cooks on the end of Sunday. I love that.
Yeah, I thought that was such a great thing because
Yep.
there was very rare when we were at like the fine dining restaurant, we were at Maritana, that it would be like sometimes a high roller would tip out like the chefs and so on, the cooks in the back. But it was so rare that would happen.
We'll get tables every once in a while. They'll be like, oh my God, that was the best food I've ever. Please give this to the cook. And as a good, not as a good server, I'm not trying to label myself that, but as a server, if I have a really hard table or like I had a 17 or a 20 top on Thursday, they tipped me $100 extra. So I gave my cooks each $10. I'm
That's
like,
nice,
dudes, you fucking killed it. It was so smooth. There was not one mistake. Everything went out hot.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Exactly.
No,
and
it's
you're a
worth
great
it.
server, but like you've said, you're not getting that tip. They're not there for you. They're
No,
there for the food.
Exactly. It's the
So
experience.
if they didn't execute correctly, that $100 may not have ever existed.
I agree.
Yeah. I think I gave you like a $50 tip
I don't
one
know
time.
what you're talking about.
And I
remember
remember
that.
you were so confused by it, and I was like, I don't know, he gave me $250, so I figured I'd give you one, and you were just like, who just gives out? I was like, oh, you should be front of house, man. Like they're just handing money out
do.
here. This is wild.
Money flows. Now on that tip, I don't count my tips like on that line in front of my cooks because I don't want to like flaunt it because there's a big disproportion on how much servers will walk away with and what a cook's walking away with. Like, I'm so sorry.
At the end of a busy shift, the difference of a cook or chef walking to their car and then a server skipping to their car.
Right?
They both worked. Like, I remember leaving
That's fair.
hotel and, like, it was a really hard, like, very busy shift. And I think it was, like, our friend Amber was, like, just beat up from cooking and just being in the shit of it. And then it was like,
work.
Jeff, why are you in such a good mood? I was like, oh, because I'm front of house and rich. Like,
exactly.
And they did not like that answer.
And you probably smell nice. We smell like fish and yeast and whatever other odors.
Ugh.
Oh, you want to go out? No, I actually want to go shower.
Yeah,
And
I
scrape
hate
this
all
off
of
of me.
these. All right, well, that's a little insight.
That
Is
was awesome. Good
food
topic,
runners.
Jeff.
Yeah, it's something I knew. I've heard Patrick say the word runner more times in my life.
Do you hear it in your
Oh my
nightmares?
God!
Runner!
If there's just quiet, all I hear is just runner.
Yeah. No, that's real.
And people don't know. Like that's a real thing that needs
Yep.
to kind of
Yeah.
help the restaurant run.
Yep.
All right, so that's another episode of.
Serving you.
They do that every time. It's
Yeah,
fun.
we love it.